Why, hello there, everyone. It's the Axel Shifter here. We are back with the next Multiverse Wars episode number 32. We're almost going to be reaching the 40th episode very soon, so yeah, be prepared for that one. But yeah, now it's time we take a look at today's matchup. A matchup between two superpowered people. One, actually, but instead we have three others. We have Omni-Man versus the Powerpuff Girls? Yeah, this is their first time here. This is really the only time I ever mentioned the Powerpuff Girls other than my nostalgia videos. So yeah, we're now going to be discussing them in the Multiverse Wars series, their powers and abilities, and then we're going to be seeing if they can beat Omni-Man. Now for the record, this is the Amazon cartoon Omni-Man, not the one from the comics, because, well, that would be an easy stomp for him. But if we use the Omni-Man from the Amazon series that hasn't really been developed that much yet, it's still in its first season. Season 2 is coming. I saw the trailer, but still, yeah. So without further ado, let's get to it. Really excited for this one. Nolan Grayson is the father of Mark Grayson, aka Invincible, but however, there's a twist. He is actually an alien. Much like a Kryptonian, he actually does look like a human, but he is in fact much more powerful than that. He is a Viltrumite who was assigned of custody over Earth and its homeworld. He was made to conquer it, but for 23 years, he served as one of the Earth's greatest and most powerful heroes, under the moniker Omni-Man. But when he's discovered that his son developed the same powers as him, his true intentions begin to emerge. But now that we know the basic origin and premise of this character, now it's time we talk about his powers and abilities from the TV series. As a Viltrumite, Nolan is extremely powerful, as it is stated in the series that Viltrumites do get even more powerful when they age and when they get into intense battles, proving that they have more experience. And Nolan himself is already thousands of years old, so that's no issue for him. He also has some regeneration abilities, as he recovered from a coma and several head injuries in a short amount of time after fighting the Guardians of the Globe and killing them. He's also should be comparable or superior to his son, who can survive the vacuum of space for weeks. He is also capable of harming those who can easily harm other people. He has stated that he is already the strongest man on the planet, and well, that's really pretty easy to assume because he is a Viltrumite, and Viltrumites are some of the most powerful alien species in all fiction. He's also pretty fast, as he's faster than Invincible and Alan the Alien himself, who can travel to the moon in a few seconds, proving that they're at least around relativistic speeds. He was also fast enough to ignite the air around him. He's also very durable, as he survived several killing attempts from Cecil Stedman and his other rest of the US government, such as a giant laser beam, the Immortal himself coming after him. Well, it was not by them, it was just Immortal coming at him, and a giant kaiju. He survived all of those things, and even his own son managed to get a few good hits from him, and he still managed to survive them with no real damage done to him. And he also has extremely high stamina, as much like his son. He can also hold like his breath for 2 weeks, of course, like I already said before. And he also, once again, single-handedly killed the Guardians of the Globe, showing no signs of retiring after fighting. But, of course, as for his weaknesses, does have his weaknesses, obviously. He's extremely conflicted by his love for Viltrum and his love for his family. They also have a weakness to their Ibilibrium, their ears, meaning that if their Ibilibriums are damaged, then, well, yeah, they have really hard time fighting after that. And they could also still get killed with enough force because, well, you know, the whole Viltrumite ward thing happened and several of them died. This is confirmed in this series and also in the comic as well, but still focus on the TV show. But overall, Omni-Man still has incredible feats of strength, speed, and durability. Even in the TV show, he is the strongest man in the world after all. And now let's talk about the Powerpuff Girls. For the first time in the Multiverse Wars series, they are Townsville's saviors, as they were first born by Professor Utonium, since he did want to make Townsville and the entire world a much better place. But he accidentally added the concoction, Chemical X. And then bam, the Powerpuff Girls were just instantly born like that. And yeah, they've been protecting the day ever since, and also got a terrible 2016 reboot. Yeah, I remember that one. That one was just god-awful. But we're only going to be focusing on the 1998 series, the vastly superior version. So yeah, we're talking about powers, abilities, and feats. Now let's first start off with Blossom, since she was always my favorite character in the original, as, yeah, she's the leader and everything. But first off, let's talk about her really major feats. She nullified a solar flare along with her sisters, which produced at least 1E plus 20 joules of energy, which easily means that she is capable of island levels of attacking other people. She is also extremely fast as well because, she is 6 years old and they are pretty small, really. So yeah, she is easily capable of also reaching the astral belt in a short amount of time. And it can also scale to other sisters who are also pretty fast as well, but we're going to be discussing them afterwards. Blossom. Now, as for her lifting strength, she casually lifted a mountain which resembled Mount Everest. And Mount Everest is, of course, known to be extremely popular island or mountain, so yeah. She also has special other abilities along with her feats, such as Ice Breath and Fire Breath, which can do the pretty standard one, pretty easily capable of harming other opponents. She's also very smart and tactical and level-headed and quick thinking, as she is the leader of the Powerpuff Girls after all, so it's pretty safe to assume that she is going to be the best one, the leader. But as for her weaknesses, though, she can be defeated with the other girls alongside them, as she has been taken down by other villains before. And while she is extremely intelligent, she is still just a child after all. I mean, this could go for all of them, all three of them. So, yeah. Now let's move on to the other ones. Bubbles is described as the joy and the laughter, but she's also very powerful as well, as she has her very own abilities, but also the same ones as the other two, like flight, heat vision, energy projection, super senses, night vision, x-ray vision, piloting, tornado generation, cyclone spinning, fire manipulation, and many more. She's also capable of scaling off Blossom, much like Buttercup, as she is practically the same height and weight, and basically the same thing as Blossom, but except her own. She's capable of also speaking to animals, and also is strong enough to just trade blows with Boomer, her male clone. Remember the Rowdy Rough Boys? Yeah, I remember them too. She's also taken hits from also the Rowdy Rough Boys, and taken hits from the simulation monsters in Hardcore Bubbles. Remember that episode? Oh yeah, I remember several different episodes from that show. She's also pretty intelligent as well, actually, as along with her sisters, so no, it is kind of less, she is naive now. That's kind of really the other girls, but they are super smart as well for their ages. And she's also capable of speaking Spanish, Japanese, and animal languages, like I said before. And she also has extremely high stamina, as she very rarely ever gets tired in this series. But as for weakness, however, she is pretty much just taken down by other enemies before, multiple times throughout the show, and was almost defeated by the Rowdy Rough Boys, so she also may be aware of her other abilities, but yeah. Now finally talk about Buttercup. Buttercup is the toughest fighter out of all three girls, and she is easily one of the most powerful members. Well, both of them, all three of them are equally on the same power level, but still, she easily also just has the other abilities of the other girls, that being flight, heat, you know the deal. But she can also scale to her other sisters, which provably gives her obviously even more advantages over any other villain in Townsville, or any other villain in fiction, that is. But still, as for her weaknesses, however, they are practically the same as the other three. They are still children, so they can still be manipulated. And yeah, while they are smarter for their age, that doesn't really matter for the grand scheme of things. Now, who would actually win this battle? Now, to be fair, Omni-Man is clearly the more experienced and skilled fighter, much more than all three of them combined. Nolan is thousands of years old and knows plenty of different combat skills. But in the end, the Powerpuff Girls solely take this solely due to their own different abilities and also greater feats, such as traveling to the astral belt, or even talk to the animals, or other abilities, such as the Ball Blast, Black Hurricane, much greater strength, Green Orb Energy, Fireball, Inferno, spontaneously caught on fire, but is basically used by the Powerpuff Girls as the Flaming Feline. They also have the Copycat, which allows them to clone themselves. They can even turn into a puddle of water and shrink themselves into microscopic size. And yeah, they can pretty much just do a lot of things that the actors of Viltrumite wouldn't be able to do, such as those other abilities. Not to mention they're much faster than him. So yeah, I would still say that Omni-Man does put up a good fight, but in the end, Powerpuff Girls will dunk him and throw him today. That day is saved, thanks to the Powerpuff Girls. And that was the 32nd episode of Multiverse Wars. Hope you enjoyed this video, and be sure to stay tuned for the Forlorn Classics video next up. I'll be making that after this one. So, yeah, hope you guys had a good day and stuff, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.